Hello friends, my name is Hemant Singh Rana and you're watching in Live in English, making the language entertaining, lively and functional. In the previous lessons, we discussed in detail prepositions in, at and on. In this lesson, we will study other prepositions of place or position such as above, over, below, under, across, through and along. These prepositions help us in telling the position of a person or thing in relation to another. So let's get started. Let's start our discussion with above and over. These two prepositions are quite frequently used in our daily communication and both mean that something is at a higher level than another in an extended space. Let's see some examples of above and over. The painting is hanging above the cabinet. The painting is hanging over the cabinet. Mark lifted his hand above his head. Mark lifted his hand over his head. I live on a rented flat above the shop. I live on a rented flat over the shop. Martha is looking at herself in the mirror above the table. Martha is looking at herself in the mirror over the table. In all these sentences, the painting, Mark's hand, flat and the mirror are at a higher level than other things. The selection between above and over in the previous sentences was not difficult as things were directly over or above some other things. However, when the things at a higher level are not directly over other things or they are moving, then we have to make a choice between the two. Here we have two situations. Let's discuss the first situation. If there is a movement or a thing at a higher level is moving horizontally in an extended space or it touches or covers some other things, we will then use only preposition over, not above. Let's understand this with the help of some examples. A flock of birds flew over my head. The plane flew low over the town. Clouds are hovering over the mountains. A thick layer of fog is visible over the city. I put a blanket over Mark. She spread a thick layer of cheese over the bread. In the first three sentences, birds, plane and clouds are moving at a higher level horizontally. In the last three sentences, blanket, fog and cheese are touching and covering things under them. Therefore, we have used only preposition over. So that was about movement. But at times, things are not moving and they are also not directly over other things. In such a situation, we will use preposition above, not over. Let's see some examples. There are many houses on the hills above the village. The painting above the fireplace is eye-catching. There is a helipad on the hill above the town. In all the three sentences, things that are higher than others are not exactly over them but overlooking. However, if someone or something moves to the other side which is higher like a barrier, boundary, wall, etc., or we talk about the position or location of someone or something on the other side or opposite of another, we will use preposition over. Let's see some examples. He jumped over the wall to reach the other side. His header just went over the bar. My house is over the main road. There is a small village over the hills. In the first two sentences, someone or something is moving to the other side, which is higher. And in the last two sentences, we are talking about something on the other side. We also use above and over with temperatures, time, numbers, measurements, percentage, etc. Let's see what is used where. We use preposition above when something is higher than the specified amount, rate, percentage, level or norm. And we use preposition over when we are talking about numbers, years, particular period of time or meals and large gatherings. With temperature, age and money, we have the choice to use either of the two. Let's understand this with the help of some examples. I am expecting above 60% marks. His performance has been above average. The economy is witnessing a growth rate above 8%. Over 1 million people live in the city. Mark has written over 30 books so far. This book was written over 150 years ago. We had a great discussion over breakfast. Or we had a great discussion over a cup of tea. Anyone above 18 can participate in the contest, or anyone over 18 can participate in the contest. The temperature rises above 35 degrees Celsius in summer, or the temperature rises over 35 degrees Celsius in summer. This dress will cost you above $500, or this dress will cost you over $500. He is above 75, or he is over 75. Now let's discuss prepositions below and under. Below is the opposite of above and under is the opposite of over. Both below and under mean that something is at a lower level from a specific point, place or thing. For example, from this point, the city buildings below look like dots. Or from this point, the city buildings under look like dots. All the friends decided to meet below Big Ben. Or all the friends decided to meet under Big Ben. There is a subway under this market, or there is a subway below this market. The difference between below and under is quite similar to what we discussed earlier during our study of prepositions above and over. If there is a horizontal movement or something is covering an entire surface or area, or something is directly under another thing, we will use only preposition under, not below. Let's see some examples. The city is under a layer of thick fog. We stood under a tree to save ourselves from rain. Children crawled under the hut while playing hide and seek. There's something under the table. However, we prefer preposition below when something is in a lower position than another, but they both are in the same building, on the same hill, in the same body, etc. For example, I live in the flat below this one. I can feel the pain right below my shoulder. The houses below the hill are next to a stream. In all these sentences, the two things are located at one place, be it a building, hill, or the body. When we talk about something lower than a specific number, when we mean to say less than, we prefer preposition under with age, amount, and people. However, when we want to talk about standard measurements as in temperature or speed or position on a scale, something going vertically down, we prefer preposition below. Let's see some examples to understand this better. You can buy all the items under $500. There were under 5,000 people in the stadium. This contest is open for players under 35. Any temperature below 15 degrees Celsius makes me uncomfortable. The performance was below acceptable standard. The wind speed is below 50 miles per hour. Now let's discuss last three prepositions through, across, and along. We use preposition through when something finds its way from one side to the other from within. It gives an impression as if something is penetrating and finding its way to reach the other end. Let's see some examples. He walked slowly through the woods. We struggled through the crowd to reach the meeting point. Stephen is walking through the corridor. It will take us some time to get through the traffic. I looked through the telescope. We use preposition across when someone or something moves from one side to the other. When we want to move to the other side of a river, bridge, road, border, etc., we use preposition across. One thing we need to remember is with through, the movement is from within, but in the case of across, it is not. Let's see some examples. They ran across the stadium. We traveled across Europe. You can get across the river by boat. He has a shop across the street. Across the mountains lies a beautiful village. In the first three sentences, we are using across to express movement from one side to the other. In the last two sentences, across tells about a location or position of something on the other side. You don't have to get confused with prepositions across and over. They both can be used interchangeably for getting from one side to the other. For example, I wanted to go across the river, or I wanted to go over the river. They live across the border, or they live over the border. My house is across the bridge, or my house is over the bridge. However, if we are talking about things at higher level on the other side, we will prefer preposition over. But if we are thinking of something as a flat surface or areas like rooms, countries, and sea or oceans, we will use preposition across. Now let's discuss the last preposition along. When we move on a long line or in one constant direction on the side of a long horizontal surface such as path, passage, road, street, and so on, we will use preposition along. Let's see some examples. He walked along the street for some time. The couple is on a romantic walk along the beach. There is a sprawling city along the river. Cars are parked along the road. So friends, that is it in this lesson. I hope that you would have learned a lot about various prepositions of place. If you have any doubts regarding any preposition, do get in touch with me. Otherwise, go out and share your learning with others, because the more we share, the better we become. Help someone become better. In the next lesson, we'll touch upon the remaining prepositions of place and position. I'll be back with you soon. Till then, keep learning and keep growing. Goodbye.